Alright guys, what is going on? Hopefully you can hear me past all this freaking rain, but I got this steel building here and there's not a whole lot I can do about it, and it's gonna rain all freaking night. So let's see if any of my audio will come through good. I'll try to speak up. So I've had some time with the lathe. I can't quite remember where we left off. I think I had just gotten it cleaned up. But first, I want to thank you guys so much. The first thing I did when I got this machine was I went and I joined a couple forums on Practical Machinist. I started a thread and just threw out that I got this thing and was trying to find anyone that maybe also had a machine like this or could provide any sort of information. And I did some Googling and some brief trying to find something at my local library, and there really wasn't anything for me to find on this, which is funny because I live in Central Ohio and this is from Springfield, Ohio. So you'd think, you know, if anyone, I'd be able to find something, but really I wasn't able to. And boy, did you guys deliver. So this is a printout of a machine that went for sale a couple years ago. There's some slight differences on this thing, and not saying that it was manufacturing differences. I'm just saying there's differences in my machine because I don't really know where my machine's been, what's original, what's not. I think the motor is a different style motor that was put into it. I think the hand wheels at some point have been replaced. I can't say that this machine, I don't think it was ever dropped. I don't think that's why they did that. I mean, I think a lot of this is completely original. It's just I've never seen these particular wheels on another machine, but they're all matching. So, and that's another funky thing, is that this was made in 1943, so during the war, which what I probably showed you guys last time was this. And anyone into vintage machinery, I'm sure, has seen, you have seen machines like this for the War Department. So I'm probably not going to say a lot of things new to anybody, and to be honest, I'm still trying to learn a lot of this myself. I'm just getting into machining. I've always wanted to, but I'm finally at a point where I have my own garage, my own space, and room to do this. So bear with me. But anyways, so information you guys got me. Ethan emailed me randomly out of the blue after I made a post, and he had some documents from the Smithsonian that he dug up. A lot of this is sales brochures for my lathe. Really great information. Now, something unique, and I mentioned this in my last video, is that there is a reliever attachment that went here and had some mounting here. To be honest, I'm sure some of you know, but I really don't know what it did. It attached over here onto the cross slide. Speaking of the cross slide, my machine's also set up for a taper attachment. I'm sure I'm never going to find an actual Springfield taper attachment for this machine. Maybe someday I'll make one. But that's another thing. People ask me, you know, why I bought this machine. Well, I'm at the point now where I've figured out buy it right or buy it twice. And, you know, I wanted to have a machine that I could fix up, possibly restore, at least get into good mechanical working condition, and have something that I would, you know, I never wanted my lathe to be my limitation. So this machine, by far, I will probably never get to its capacity, and it could do, you know, everything I want it to do. And I saw it run before I bought it. It was in good mechanical use. It was used up until the day I bought it. And I believe this was bought surplus from a factory after the war, according to the guy I bought it from, and it went to a farmer. He used it, and he just used it to make to repair farm implements. This guy got it. It was covered in oil. I think at some point it had been repainted. But it got covered in oil and was protected. I think that's why it cleaned up so good. And yeah, it just turned out to be a really good machine. So I cleaned it up. I will never wear this thing out, ever. And So I know I'm all over the place, but anyways, so I'm sorry. So these are some sales brochures. This is stuff that's actually relevant to do with my lathe. Yeah, you can see one of the hand wheels there. But anyways, I won't bore you going through all this stuff. He also sent me an actual manual. This is for a later lathe. I think this is for one of their larger engine turning lathes. I think they had a 16, an 18, and a 20. And some of what's on the machine isn't original to it either. Like this thread dial. Some guys on the forum thought this was LeBlanc. You can see it's just kind of hacked on there. And there's also this like micrometer style carriage stop. I've never seen one of these before. Not that I would know what to look for if it was. I got a phase 2 tool changer with, maybe you can see over there, I got the knurling, boring bar, all those attachments. And hopefully I get this thing wired up soon. So this is a 2-speed 5 horsepower motor. There's a 2.5 and 5 horsepower side. And I ended up going to Michigan, which I will cut to a clip of me driving back. But I ended up driving 10 hours round trip to get this thing. And it's brand new, never been used. I got off a lady who bought it for her business in an industrial park for a machine, and she got it and found out that her building was already wired for 223 phase. So I got this thing for a couple $100, and I basically stole it. But she was super happy to see me have it, and I think it'll work good. I was gonna make one, but I think that's gonna work way better. It actually has the cooling fan on it, and it's meant to be an actual like idler 3-phase machine. So I get that thing wired up. If I crawl around to the back here, I've never actually had a 3-phase machine before. So he left the wires connected in this box to where he had connected it. But then I got this weird control panel with these buttons on it. I'm really looking for some serial numbers, and I need to do more research. I've done very little research on this, but if you guys have any idea about this stuff, let me know. But as you can see, I've neglected to clean the backside. I still need to do that. Really want to get this thing powered up because I want to see over on the sight glass over here on the gearbox. I really want to see if oil is flowing before I get too excited running this thing, and really get to know the machine a bit. Maybe I'll end up putting an oil pressure gauge on the line somewhere. That might be just overthinking it, but and plus this thing really needs oiled. I don't know the condition of anything, but I think first things first, I need to get it running and really figure out if there's anything drastically wrong with it. Also the tailstock I got up. By the way, everything on this, you can't even pick this thing up. I mean, I can't pick this thing up on my own. 2 people can hardly pick this thing up. I ended up having to use my engine hoist to get this thing up on here. I mean, everything is just so overbuilt, and that's what I like about this thing. I'll never wear it out. I'll never be limited by the capacity of my lathe, and that really just is a nice feeling. This is a 3 to 4 adapter, something that I got. Anyways, so it looks like this was sleeved and just like tack welded at some point. I don't know when. This thing, I mean, it operates super smooth. There's also no slot in this tailstock for like a drift key to go into this thing to push them out. But if you run it all the way back, it does pop them out. Steady rest, I haven't really cleaned up. You can see where these are kind of boogered up. I don't think I'll ever really turn anything. I mean, big enough to use that, but I'm glad I have it. But yeah, so Try to clean up some of the dials. I tried cleaning up all the plates on this thing so you can actually read them. Some of them are cleaning up better than others. I might try to paint the numbers or do something to actually, because it's just hard to read. This guy's fine, I mean, but yeah, everything seems to be moving and doing what it's supposed to. This chuck's kind of funky. I'm not exactly sure what taper is on here. I need to measure it. I really haven't looked into it too much. I also have an adapter plate that goes onto that spindle, and I don't know what this whole pattern's for adapting a different style chuck, but it looks like it's on like the chuck is mounted onto a faceplate. It's a 10-inch buck chuck. I think I mentioned that. But everything works smooth. I finally got this thing moving, and I mean, I'm really trying to figure a lot of it out. It still needs to be leveled. I'm still messing with that. But yeah, I mean, so I think my next step is 220. I need to run I have a spare circuit in the house that I can run out here. And then the three-phase rotary phase converter goes into the 220, and then I gotta look into the three-phase, because it's 220 phase on this machine, and getting this wired up, and then I mean, it should start right up. Like I say, I gotta level it. I got a lot of things. My grandfather was a machinist, and I hate that he isn't around anymore, because he would just be able to tell me how to run this thing, because he ran machines like this his whole career. So, you know, it kind of sucks that I have to learn everything on my own, but, you know, we all got to start somewhere. I really want to get going and learning on this thing. Eventually, I'd like to get a milling machine, and, you know, this is where this hobby spirals out of control. But, yeah, so I think I'm going to get a precision level to get this thing dialed in, and I want to start making some cuts on it and see if there's any taper, how much wear in the ways. There's still a lot that I got to do, but I think I got a lot of the big pieces in place, and this phase converter was a huge part in it, because these phase converters get really expensive, and this was about to be more expensive than anything else in this project, more than the lathe, more than any of the tooling I have, more than the tool post. But I'm happy to have it, and thanks for listening to my rambling, guys. Like I say, I got a lot of great information. I'm still reading through it. I got a copy of Machinery's Handbook to get me started and start learning, and we got a long way to go. Thank you, guys.